Hello and welcome to EE 447. I'm your instructor, Gregory Myers. In this video, we're going to take a look at HTML tables. This is going to be an introduction to HTML tables. I plan on spreading this topic out over multiple videos. For this video, what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the basic tags associated with a table, including a caption, the head and foot information, as well as the body. To begin with, we want to start off creating a new HTML page. We want to go ahead and save it. In this particular case, we're going to save this in our demos folder under our HTML folder, and we're going to keep with the same naming scheme that we've had in earlier videos of an example, identifying this as an example here. So in this particular case, what we want to do here is we want to call this one example underscore table, and we're just going to start off with 01. Perhaps not the most creative naming scheme, but we will look at sort of this systematically. Once again, we also want to set up Visual Studio in this case for the split view so that we can see both the source as well as the design. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a look at several tags associated with a table. So we're going to begin by putting the title in here, and we're going to call this example table 01. Might as well go ahead and keep the underscores just to keep consistent. Once again, this is optional that it's the same as the file. It's not required. It can be anything that you wish for it to be. So the table elements go within the body, and you can start with whatever IDE that you're planning on using. You can start simply by typing in open bracket and then table. We're not going to worry about any of the attributes yet. We're going to come back to that in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and close the table tag. A table can optionally have a caption. In this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to just call this an introduction to HTML tables. A table is going to consist of three parts: the head, the body, and the foot. The body is the most critical part, but we are going to go ahead and add both the optional head and the foot. So to start off with, select tag T head. Within the T head, we want to create a row that represents our column headers, and we do so by selecting the TR tag. Notice how your IDE will sort of limit your options because there are rules associated with which tags can be nested within which tag. So in this case, a TR tag can be nested within the head. We're also going to discover that a TR tag can be nested within the body as well. So we're going to create a single row for the column headers. And inside that row, we are going to use the TH tag, which identifies it as a column head. And so for this particular example, I'm just going to walk through a two-column HTML table. And as a source for the data, we're just simply going to use some of our prior courses. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have the first column be the course name, and the second column is going to be the course description. Now, if you go ahead and save this, you'll see that this sets us up for a two-column table. Currently, it has no rows in it, at least in the body. Right now, all it has is the two column headers, and notice that they are in bold. The next tag that we want to take a look at is going to be the T body, or the table body. Similar to the T head, you must have a row, and then inside that row, use the TD tag to identify the data. Now we want to have the same number of columns in the data rows as we did in the head row. So immediately, it probably is good practice to go ahead and stub in the two TD tags that you need. At this point, one of the things that I like to do is to go ahead and copy this set of elements as many times as you feel the number of rows that you will need. So in this case, I'm just going to do an example with 3 rows. And if we save this, you'll see the beginnings or the outline of our new table. So talking about the data for our table, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just pull from our prerequisites. And so I'm going to start off with going to the course description for our EE 447 course. And what we're going to do is we're just simply going to pull from the course catalog some of our descriptions, starting with EE 233. And so I'm going to start off with EE 233. I'm going to come back over here to our table. And in the first row and in the first column, I'm going to put in EE 233. And in the first row, second column, I'm going to put in engineering programming methods. And if you save this, you'll see now that I'm starting to fill in my table. Going back one more time to the course descriptions, let's grab a couple of more. And we're going to focus, because I'm slightly biased here, I'm going to focus on our software courses. We're going to go ahead and grab 333. And paste the course number in the first column, or between the first 2 TD tags, and then the course description or course title, I suppose, might be a better name for this second column. So how about if we call this the course number, and we'll change this to course title. All right, as you can see, our table is starting to look a little bit better. Once again, I mean this only jokingly when I say I'm slightly biased to software, but let's continue with this theme. Let's go grab our description for our course, or the title for our course, and that's our EE 447 course. So EE 447 goes in the first column, and then the title goes in the second column. Let's go ahead and save this. You'll now see that we have our third row, the fourth row of the table, but the third row of the body. And then the last element that we want to take a look at in this video is going to be the T foot. Like the T head and the T body, the T foot has a T row nested element, TR. And inside the TR, we have the option of TD for data or TH for essentially another heading. If you choose the TH, you'll get a bolder text. And if you choose TD, you'll have the plain text. So for this particular example, I really don't have a intended purpose for the T foot, so I am simply going to put in a reference to this column number 1 of the T foot and TD column number 2. If you save that, you'll see that you get, once again, now a 5th row. Specifically, you'll notice that there is no easy way to differentiate between the columns or the rows in the body and that of the foot when I use the TD tag. This is partially intentional. Instead, what you would do is you would use the foot to delineate between data from the body and the foot for parsing purposes. If you want style changes, what you will see is we will do this using CSS. Hopefully you found this video useful. In subsequent videos, we're going to improve the style of this table. If you notice right now, I have no borders. Aesthetically, it's not all that pleasing. And specifically, if you were to take a look at this page in your web browser, it's not all that appealing. Hope you found this video useful. If you have any comments or suggestions, do not hesitate to let me know. Thank you very much.